Hello everyone, good day. Once again, this is Professor Roger Flores of Central Mindanao University, the Department of Electrical Engineering, the professor of this subject, ES52, Engineering Management. Today we are going to discuss Chapter 4 of our subject, entitled Organizing Technical Activities. Okay, this is another major function of a manager, engineer manager, to this. That is our responsibility to organize technical activities, especially after planning, so that the whatever planned activities or whatever activities that was planned, especially as what we discussed in Chapter 3, then we will be able to implement using this. Organization. Okay, so we have this chapter 4. This is planning technical activities. Okay, so to start with, we have to discuss what are the reasons for organizing. What are the reasons for organizing? Now, actually, here we're going to determine what is the importance of organizing after doing our planning. Okay, so accordingly, organizing is undertaken to facilitate the implementation of plans. Okay, so as we said in our previous discussion, Chapter 3, planning, we have different types of planning. We have the strategic planning, we have the intermediate planning, and the planning for a short period of time. So to implement this planning, of course, or planned activities, then you have to do this organizing, so that we'll be able to implement our planned activities. Okay, so we have, in effective organizing, steps are undertaken to break down the total job, into more manageable man-sized jobs. So from a bigger scope of activities, you have to divide, you have to slice this activity, this job, so that we will be able to, we have a small group that will do this manageable size of this job. Okay, so this will help also facilitate the assignment of authority, responsibility and accountability for certain functions and tasks. So by the way, in a management, any group or any member of the group, whatever tasks will be assigned to you, then you are responsible, and whatever the scope of authority given to you, then you are responsible, and you are accountable to whatever outcome of this activity. Okay, so in other words, the given authority will be with respect to the amount of decision making. How big is your authority? Then that will always based on the decision making that is expected to you. For a very simple activity, simple or maybe simple decision-making process, then of course authority is of course medyo maliliit din, Then responsibility also, and then the accountability. Okay, so we have to define what is organizing. So according to the definition, it is a management function. Okay, so organizing is a management function that refers to the structuring of resources and activities to accomplish the objectives and in an efficient and effective manner. So it is understood, therefore, that as a manager, as an engineer manager, then we should have to organize. Okay, you should have to organize so that we will be able to structure our resources. So talking about resources here, it might be human resources, or it might be logistics, any materials, machines, and even financial. So we should have to organize. We should have to coordinate all these things so that we will be able to attend the objectives of any activities efficiently and effectively. Okay, so structure is, of course, the arrangement or relationship of activities within an organization. Okay, so that is structure, arrangement or relationship of positions. Okay, so that we should have to define what is the position, what is the name of that position, what is the authority inherent to that position, what are your responsibilities, at the same time, what are your accountability if you cannot attend or achieve those expected output, no? So to arrange all these positions, then, or relationships, either vertical or horizontal positions, then we should have to produce this structure, okay, within this organization. And this structure is the result of organizing process, no? Organizing process. So we have later on we will discuss a process of organizing. So the result of this is your structure. Okay, so we have this purpose of structure, or purpose of the structure, no? So some of the purpose are the following, but this is not limited to all these things that we are going to enumerate here. But one of the purpose of having this structure is to define the relationship between tasks and authority. So if you are given with this task, what are your authority? Or what if you are given this authority, what task is what is the scope of the task that will govern within this given authority. Okay, so this is the task and authority to define this one. So we should have to produce structure, and this is for the individual or even in a department. Okay, then it defines also formal reporting, no, relationship. So where to report, whom to report, or when to report. Okay, so we have to define all these things through this what we call a structure. Then we have also the number of levels in the hierarchy. Okay, so for example, if you are in the lower level, then you should have to report to your immediate supervisor. Your immediate supervisor might be the that belongs to the intermediate level, or to the top level of management. Okay, so it defines groupings also, no, of individuals, whether it is into departments or departments into a big organization. Okay, so it defines the groupings so that individual employee or subordinates may know where to report and what group he belongs or she belongs, no? So that is why we should have to define the groupings of this individual, or into in terms of its department. Okay, so it defines also the system to effect coordination of effort, no? Coordination of effort. Now, any activity might not be done by in one organization or one department. It could be performed by a collaborated activity, no? So it might be performed with from representative from the other department. So we should have this what we call as coordination. Okay, coordination of effort. It is either vertical or horizontal. When we say vertical group or coordination, we have this authority, and the horizontal is in terms of its task. Okay, So when structuring, the engineer manager may concern of this following. First is division of labor. So we have this division of labor, no? So by the way, you should have to define the scope of work so that we will know what activity will this group will be doing only, no? So that there will be no what do you call this one, confusion, or there will be no overlapping of activities, no? So determining the scope of work and how it is combined in a job. Okay, so that is division of labor. Okay, so another concern of the engineer manager is the delegation of authority. Now, it is in order that sometimes a manager will delegate his work to somebody, okay, or anybody in the organization. So this is the delegation of authority is the process of assigning various degrees of decision-making authority, no, to subordinates. Okay, so if you but take note this one as a manager, if you're going to delegate a certain job to somebody in your organization, see to it that, of course, you believe in his capability to do this job, and of course, he understand, or he or she she know this activity that is given or delegated to him or her. Okay, so that is delegation of authority. Now, next is departmentation. Now, when we say departmentation, this is the grouping of related jobs, no? So there might be some interrelated or related job, no? So try to group this one so that to minimize human resources also, especially if you have this specific person that has or have several knowledge, or have a good background for several activities. Then try to group this job into one group, then, or one group, then process it into an organizational sub units. Okay, so we have also this span of control. This is the number of people who report directly to a given manager. Okay, so span of control. So that is why this is also a very important as a manager, a general manager. Why? Because some employee or some human resources might complaining that oh, I have several bossing here, I have several managers here. Then who will who out of them, who will be the one that I will be reporting to, or listening to, or whatsoever, no? So that these are some of the problem and organization, because some managers might think that because they are a specific manager for this specific department or organization, then he or she be able to manage everybody in an organization. No, so we should have to define also, no, in an in an structure, try to define also the span of control. Okay, so so that there will be no confusion, there will be no chaos when it comes to management activity, no? So another one also is coordination. Okay, so I mentioned a while ago that there might be a possibility that you are going to coordinate with the other department. So that is why coordination also is one of the concern of the engineer manager. This is linking activities in the organization service to achieve a common goal. Okay, so for example, several departments, for example, you have the finance department, you have the engineering department, you have this what we call this one, we have this research and development department. So there is a coordination between this department. So this is one of your concern, no? And then let's continue with this formal organization. So as we are going to define, this formal organization is the structure that deals details lines of responsibilities, authority, and position. So formal organization have this detail structure, detail structure for what is the responsibility, what is the authority, and the specific position. The authority that inherent to this given position. Okay, so the formal structure is described by the management through. So this is the formal organization having a structure, and this structure is described by management through organizational chart. So, okay, of course, maybe many of us are already familiar with this, what we call as organizational chart. This is a diagram of the organization's official positions. So, I repeat, this is a diagram. So, we have, for example, at the top, we have the president, the vice president. Of course, below is the secretary, treasurer, so on and so forth, finance, okay? So, this is what we call as organizational chart. It is maybe a block diagram, or a block diagram with a specific position and the qualification and the inherent power to this certain position. Okay, so formal lines of authority. Okay, so we are also, or the formal structure also described by the organizational manual. Okay, so we have this. What is organizational manual? This provides written descriptions. Okay, this manual is this is a comprehensive descriptions of the relationships, details of functions, details of the organizational units, the objectives for a specific unit, or that it will also describes the job procedures. Okay, so a step by step, or maybe basta ang kailangan lang natin dito is yung detalyadong pag-describe ng mga functions natin, pangalan ng organisasyon, maybe it will start with mission, vision, and so on and so forth. So that is your organizational manual. And we have another one here is the policy manual. This will describe personnel activities and company policies. So I know that your organization will have several policies. Your company will have several policies. Okay, so like this time, now that we are in pandemic, then maybe one of our policies is no mask, no face shield, no entrance or no entry of the perimeter of our company. So we have mga traffic policies natin o ano pang mga policy natin. Mga time in, time out, marami tayong mga policies, no? So it should be written and describes fully in your what we call as policy manual. Okay, so if we have formal group, then we have also this informal group. Okay, so according to the definition, that there might be sometimes or instances that there is an organization of an spontaneous organization that is spontaneously formed, okay, into a group with principle as the principal reason of belonging. So it is not planned. Maybe we don't have other purpose, but of course, basically, the main purpose maybe of this grouping, spontaneously grouping or forming this group is friendship. Okay, so that is why that is the informal group. Okay, oftentimes very useful also, no? Even though this is just an informal, it is very useful in the accomplishment of major tasks, especially if this task conform with the expectations of these informal group members. Okay, so Like for example, no, um, if you are uh, if you are basketball enthusiast, for example, if you are an athletic, or if you want or love sports, okay, so maybe while watching basketball, for example, so you will have the same expectations, you have the same team, you might group, you might create an informal group as a follower, or with this specific, for example, team of this basketball. So this is just an informal group. And maybe what is the purpose of maybe informal grouping? So maybe try to chair, for example, chair your players, okay, so that of course, so that our target here is to win this, to win the game. So chair the group. Then that is one of the purpose, no, of having this informal groups. It is just a simple example, no. So we have some reasons of joining this informal group, no, or factors. We have friendship, as we mentioned. Then common interest. You have common interest. Of course, you will not join a group if their interest is different. Like this time, very known hobby of our ladies here, maybe collecting flowers, leafy flowers. So in the social media, you can see mga groups natin na nag-create sila ng mga groups na mahilig doon sa mga flowers. Okay, so we have common interest. Okay, so like so love of classical music, for example. Okay, so that is especially for the younger ones. Kung anong hilig niyo ng music, anong klaseng music ang hilig natin. So, yun, spontaneously mag-group yan. So, anong mga hilig lang nila. Okay. So, then we have also this proximity. This is another factor or reasons in joining these informal groups, which gives people the chance to share ideas, opinions, and feelings. Now, of course, it is psychological, and maybe it is normal to us that if nobody will listen to us, then wala tayong gana na mag-join sa kanilang grupo, di ba? So, ganun. We are joining this group because maybe they listen us, or we are free to share our opinion, or we are free to share our feelings with regards to a certain matters, no? So, we have another factor, another reason is that is a proximity. Okay, another one, need satisfaction, of course. If you are going to, maybe many of us, if you are going to join a group, what you are going to do, or what you are going to ask first is, ano kayang makuha natin ng grupong ito? Diba? So, because why? We need to have, to be satisfied with a certain concerns, no? Okay, so maybe in joining unions, cultural societies, fraternities, or sororities. So, that might be the first thing that you are going to ask. Ano bang makakuha ko dito pag mag-join ako? So, ganon. So, that is why we have these informal groups, that because some of our members of this spontaneous grouping or group is need to be satisfied. Okay, so we have also this what we call as collective power. Okay, so collective power. So as we know that in an organization, like for example, if you are working alone, so it might be weak to achieve an organizational objectives. So that is why kailangan natin ng mga membro, kailangan natin ng maraming members, so that we'll be able to achieve this one with this strong, okay, a strong performance. So this is mayroon tayong maraming mga ideas, mayroon tayong maraming mga solutions. Okay, so that is why it is necessary to have this a group, okay, for collective power. Okay, so that is very important also, or that is the reason, another reason for joining this informal group. So we have also these group goals, okay, which attract individuals, consumer society, sports club, so on and so forth. So you have this group goal. So you have your goal. So if you think that this group maybe maybe the goal of this organization is also your goal, then of course without any other questions, maybe clarifications, just join the group or that informal groupings or groups. Okay, so we have these types of organizational structure. So it is classified into functional organization, classified into product or market organization. You have also this matrix organization. So we have that typical three types of organization. So first, let us discuss functional group. Okay, so this functional group or functional organization structures are very effective in smaller firms, especially single business firms. No? So this where key activities revolve around well-defined skills and areas of specialization. So that is why it is called functional. Okay, so this means to say that this functional group is more effective for the group which is mayroon tayong sinabi natin na well-defined skills. Okay, so if you are an electrical engineer, then join the group for those electrical engineers, or join the group for if you are a mechanical engineer or other courses or field specializations. So that in doing your job, you can understand easily each other because you have the same language that you will be using. Okay, because that is your specialization. Okay, so we have also these advantages of functional group. No, the grouping of employees who perform a common task permit economies of skill and efficient resource use. Okay, so maliliit lang yung mga palpak natin because we are skilled with respect to that specific job. Okay, so there might be what we call as savings of doing this specific job. Okay, and then also we are efficient in using your resources. Okay, so we have another advantage. Since the chain of command converges at the top of the organization, decision making is centralized, providing a unified direction from top to bottom. Okay, so that is a functional group. So your as I've said a while ago, you will have the same language from the top positions to the lower position, from the top echelon to the laborers or to your workers. Then you are specialized to do this. Then there might be a centralized decision making, and it is now maybe easier to follow. Okay, because you have only one chain of command. Okay. Another advantage is communication and coordination among employees within each department are excellent. So that is what I have said a while ago. You have the same language. Okay, so you can understand each other. So no need of explaining the detailing, or you have giving detailed instructions because you understand each other and you are skilled with this activity. Okay, so next we have this structure promotes high quality technical solving problem solving. Okay, structure promotes high quality technical problem solving. Okay, so that is one of the advantage because again you are skilled to do this job. Okay, the organization is provided with an deep skill specialization and development. Okay, employees are provided with career progress within functional department. Okay, so it is now easier to give updating or give new technology because you are within a group of highly technical people or highly skilled or specialized group or functions. So madali lang natin na i-update yan kasi pares-parehas lang yung field of specialization natin. Okay, so but of course, if we have an advantages, we have also disadvantages. Communication and coordination between the departments are open for. Why? Because we are concentrating to our own department. We are doing these things which are given to us, and we are skilled to do these things. So, with respect to other departments, coordinating with other departments, so that is very poor. Kasi magagawa na natin ito. Hindi na natin kailangan yung tulong ng ibang department. So, weak or ibig sabihin, poor yung coordination and communication with the other departments. Also, decisions involving more than one department pile up at the top management level and are often delayed. So, pag ganyan mangyari, pag kailangan pa natin ng mga additional na mga decision making, so ibigay pa natin ng top management. Pagkatapos ng top management, sila pa yung mag-communicate ng ibang department. So what will happen? There might be a sort of delay that will happen between departments. Okay? So work specialization, division of labor. So division of labor which are stress in a functional organization produce routine, not motivating employee tasks. Ito lang ginagawa natin araw-araw. So, ibig sabihin, ang anong mangyari dyan, so, sooner or later, yung mga workers natin, yung mga tao natin, baka maboard na yan. Kasi kung anong ginagawa nila ngayon, yun ang gagawin nila bukas, sa susunod na araw, next month, next year, so on and so forth. Maboboard yan. So, yung mga non-motivating employee, so, yun ang mangyari. So, siguro the degree of performance will now be going down. So anyway, later on we will have to discuss how to motivate these organizations. But of course, it is understood that this functional organization, functional group will tend to have a routinary activity which will tend to become bored. The employees that we have, the subordinates that we have, will tend to become bored with their job. So, less motivated na sila. Another disadvantage is it is difficult to identify which section or groups is responsible for certain problem. Now, if we have this group, we have this department. Okay, so for the whole organization, for the whole company, for example, it is very hard to identify sino ba nagkamali pag mayroong mali dito. If there is an error in the operation, saan ba tayo nagkamali? It is very hard to identify kung sino, anong section, anong grupo yung nagkamali dahil yung coordination natin, yung cooperation natin is mayroon tayong siguro weak yun o yun nga poor yung coordination with the other departments. Another disadvantages is there is limited view of organizational goals by employees. Kasi nakatali lang yung isipan nila sa organization lang nila. They don't have any particular or they don't care or whatever organizational goals or objectives, mission, vision of the organization. Basta kung ano lang yung pinagawa nila, yun lang ang gagawin nila. So yun nga ang mangyayari. So limited view of organizational goals by this employee. There is also limited general management training for employees. Limited lang yung management training. Okay, general, yung tatawag natin na general management training. Okay, so this is a typical functional organizational chart of a construction company. This is just an example. Okay, so we have this president. Okay, so this is the organizational structure. We have this vice president for marketing. We have the vice president for construction, vice president. Okay, so we have this vice president for finance, vice president human resources. So yun nga, walang masyadong coordination because like for example, the vice president for marketing, they will be doing everything, marketing strategy. Okay, for construction also, okay, our job is to construct, to assemble, okay, to develop. So this is just our concern. So that is why of course that is good because you are specializing that activity, but of course less yung coordination ng bawat department or ibang department. So the next type of the organization is what we call as the product or market organizations. Okay, so we have the product or market organization. Okay, so this is another type, no? Okay, so this product or market organization, when it's with its feature of operating by divisions, okay, operating by divisions is appropriate for a large corporation with many product lines in several related industries. Okay, large corporation. Okay, so marami tayong mga branches. We will be covering the whole country or baka mayroon pa tayong branches abroad, no? So this is what we call as product or market organization. We have these advantages. This organization is flexible and responsive to change, responsive to whatever demands. From time to time, we have several demands or customers' demand, no? So we will become flexible to their demand because our organization is a big organization. And we might have some sister companies and so on and so forth that could be able to supply the need of our customers. So provide high concerns for customer needs. The organization provides excellent coordination across functional departments. Okay, so there is easy pinpointing of responsibility for product problems. Okay, baka kung ano yung product natin, for example, cellphone yung product, di yung problema doon sa sa company ng cellphone assembly. Okay, so if your company is doing other or making or manufacturing or fabricating machines, then of course it is very easy to pinpoint because that is your job. You are doing this fabrication. So, saan ba tayo nagkamali sa fabrication? Di ma-pinpoint natin diretso na doon yan nagkamali sa fabrications. So, that is an advantage. There is emphasis on overall product or division goals. Overall, in a bigger scope. Okay? So, because we are grouped into this market organization. The opportunity also for the development of general management skills is provided. Okay, so we will be able to develop. We have the bigger opportunity to be developed and to be exposed for different types of management skills. Okay, so we have also the disadvantage. Now, there is a high possibility of duplication of resources across divisions. So, ibig sabihin, pag mayroon tayong engineer dito, baka mayroon din kayong engineer dyan. Doble-doble na yon. So, we might not be when it comes to human resources, baka we will be expending more money with regards to this profession, for example. Okay, so there is less technical depth and specialization in divisions. Of course, for a smaller group, so less technical depth because we are more on general scope or bigger scope in market or product or productions. There is poor coordination across divisions, of course. Kasi tinitingnan na natin yung pinaka bigger what you call this one, bigger scope in organization or bigger group in an organization. So, ibig sabihin, medyo konti lang yung coordination natin within this division or department or departmentation. Another disadvantage is least top management control. Okay? Then there is a competition for corporate resources. Okay, so baka mayroon tayong mga sister companies na okay, so we'll grabbing all the opportunity what are needed, and baka mayroon pa tayong competition. Okay, baka mayroon pang magkagalit dyan na kinuha pa yung mga logistics natin na sana sa atin yun. Kaya nga, kinuha pa nila. Kasi there might be some competition in using or utilization of these corporate resources. Okay, so this is the typical product or market organization or construction of a construction company. So we have the president, we have the vice president for accounts, government accounts, industrial accounts, residential accounts, so on and so forth. So as you can see here, there is what we call as reputations or the same positions. You have in the government accounts, they have their own marketing, they have their own construction, they have their own finance, they have their own human resources. So with these industrial accounts and residential accounts. So ito po yung sinasabi natin na reputations. Okay, so the last type of this type of organization is matrix organization. Okay, so according to the definition or according to Thompson and Strickland, it is a structure with two or more channels of command, two lines of budget authority, and two sources of performance and rewards. So that is why it is called matrix. Okay, so two channels of command. Baka problema tayo dito. Pero anyway, we have of course procedures to solve problems related to this kind of organization. So that yun nga ang definition according to Thompson and Strickland, that it is an structure with two or more channels, two lines of budget authority, two lines of two sources of performance and rewards. But according to Higgins, the metric structure was designed to keep employees in a central pool and to allocate them to various projects in the firm according to the length of time they were needed. Okay, so just imagine a swimming pool. This is a swimming pool where, of course, people will swim, taking a bath, no? So people will be placed inside the pool. Then if a certain company or a certain group, department, or a certain sister company, for example, need your services, then they will pull you. Kukunin kanila, gagamitin kanila for a certain period of time. Pagkatapos ng project, balik na naman kayo doon. So, yun nga ang so i-compare natin yung sa product or yung sa product kanina, organization or market organization. So, mayroon tayong reputation of positions. This time, ilagay natin yung mga electrical engineers, for example, yung mga engineers natin, kung mayroong nangangailangan ng serbisyo ng engineer, kuha sila doon, padala natin sa kung sinong nangangailangan. So, yun ang tinatawag na matrix organization according to the definition of Higgins, that keeping these employees in a central pool. When these services were needed, then they will be picked up, sent to those who need these services, and then after doing these things with a certain period of time, then they will be returned to the original or in that pool. Okay, we have these advantages. There is more efficient use of resources, especially human resources. Okay, there is a flexibility and adaptability to changing environment. Okay, so flexible. Kailangan we have flexible uh, and adaptable or adaptability to this changing environment. Then development of both general and functional management skills are present because maybe if you are there in the pool, you might be discussing, talking, or you might have simple sharing of ideas, so that there might be some what we call as development, technical development for individual or that member of that organization within that pool. Okay, there is interdisciplinary cooperation, and any expertise is available to all divisions. Okay, there are enlarged tasks for employees which motivate them better. Okay, why? Because of course, if you are doing this, as we mentioned kanina, na pag yung ginagawa natin, dyan lang tayo araw-araw. So we will, it might results to what we call as yung mawalan tayong gana na magtrabaho. Pero kung ipapadala tayo sa iba't ibang mga trabaho related to our expertise, then of course we will be motivated to do our job. Okay, so we have these disadvantages also. There might be some frustrations and confusion from dual chain of command. Okay, sino ba yung susundin natin? Sino ba yung amo ko? Yun nga ang may siguro ang magiging reactions natin later on, especially if there is a problem in management. There is high conflict between divisional and functional interest. Baka naunahan tayo ng kumuha ng reservices ng ganito ng mga engineers. Wala na tayong naiwang engineers, mayroong naiwan diyan pero hindi naman masyadong magaling. So yun nga, might be or might create a conflict between organization, division, departments, and organization functional interest. There are many meetings and more discussions than action. Okay, so yun nga, kasi papadala tayo, from time to time we have to meet, we have to discuss, you will be told what you're going to do, where to assign, then of course it will takes time and might what to call this one, waste of time later. There is a need for human relations training for key employees and managers. So, klaro yan. There is a tendency for power dominance by one side of the matrix. Okay, so kung sino yung medyo may alam sa management, siyang nauna. So, siya, yun nga. So, there is a tendency that okay, all these things, all our people within that pool will be only governed by this group, these managers. Yun nga, baka yun nga mangyayari. There is what we call as tendency for power dominance. Okay, so we have also these types of authority. We have the line authority, which perform tasks that reflects the organization's primary goal and mission. So, whatever the goal, the mission, the vision of the organization, whatever the objectives of the organization, if you will be performing that task, then we have that specific line authority. In construction firm, for example, okay, so it negotiates and secures contracts for the firm. So, of course, in construction, we should have to have these negotiations, and of course, out of this negotiation, it might be resulting to signing of contracts and so on and so forth. So that is your line authority. Okay, we have also this staff authority. This includes all that provides specialized skills in support of line departments. Example to this, for those people, for those human resources that perform strategic planning, we have that staff authority. Labor relations and research, accounting, and personnel. Okay, so we have also this classification of staff authority: personal staff and specialized staff. When we say personal staff, then of course you're going to perform for everybody. Okay, so whatever your skill, then you will be doing these things. That is example of personal staff. Specialized staff is, of course, whatever specialization that you have, you will do this specialized activity. We have also functional authority, given to a person or work group to make decisions related to their expertise, even if these decisions concern other departments. Okay, so that is a functional authority. It is also given to a budget officer, for example, of an organization. So it is a function of the budget officer, the financial management officer. So whatever budgets that is given, you have that authority. You have all this authority in specific financial matters. Okay. So we have also the purpose of committees, no? So we have this creating this committee. So what are some of this purpose of this committee? So by the way, committee is a formal group of persons formed for a specific purpose only. Okay. We have this classification. We have the first, we have the ad hoc committee. So what is this ad hoc committee? What is this committee all about? This ad hoc committee is created for a special purpose. Then after performance, if you have this output, then this committee will just vanish. Okay. We have also a standing committee. So of course, standing committee, it is always there. Okay, this committee is always there. Okay, so for years and so on and so forth. So this committee is there, no? Standing committee. Hindi yan mawawala. Nandyan yan palagi. Like for example, in a very simple organization, like for example, we have this Wish and Men's Committee, Peace and Order Committee. So this committee is always there. Differentiated from ad hoc committee, pag ma-solve na natin yung problema, pag wala ng problema, for this specific problem, or for this given to this ad hoc committee, then wala na. Okay? So wala na, mawawala na yung committee na yan. So that is an ad hoc committee. Okay, so committees may not work properly. However, if they are correctly managed, if they are not correctly managed. Okay, mayroon tayong mga committee na hindi mag-work. So, especially pag hindi yan formally managed or correctly managed, so mawawala yan, inactive yan. So, according to Delaney, that Delaney suggested that it might be useful to set up procedures to make the committee a more effective tool to accomplish our goals. So, it's clear, no? According to Delaney, that if you are going to create a committee, see to it that you will also provide procedures. Okay, procedures for what they should have to follow. They should have to follow to solve what will be the objective of that committee. So, kailangan natin ng procedures para mayroon silang gagawin. Kasi, if wala tayong procedures, the thing, maybe, or mangyari dyan, wala din silang gagawin. So, it will just, this committee will become inefficient and ineffective. Okay, so, that ends our discussion. So, that is all about organizing technical activities. So that is very important. This is just for the implementation of any planned activities. We need to implement this. We need to have to implement our plan so that we'll be able to achieve the organizational objectives of the organization. Okay, so if you believe that you learned something with our discussion today, then I hope that you are going to follow, you are going to subscribe my YouTube channel so that more informations and notifications will be sent to you whenever there will be new video that will be made. Okay, so thank you. God bless. Stay safe and God bless you more.